Hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show for today. Almost end of May already. Let's get rolling and switch to the board view, play some games. So, I'm going to play. Who am I going to play here? Jonathan Russell 94619 and refresh, and here we go. I think I'm on. No, that's good. Let's play 1d4. I think I'm undefeated today in the German show, even though I had more than one critical situation to survive. I need to... better to be lucky than good. I think that's what I was looking for. That expression. Now, all right. So black took a bit of time here. Instead of playing the standard move. C6 is a solid continuation, mixing Slav elements with the Grunfeld. What I generally speaking like about White's position is that it is rather easy to play. You have an easy development scheme here with b3, bishop b2, and I always feel that you need to do something quite stupid to get into trouble. It can still happen, and this is the typical thing. If you say this, like, okay, how am I ever going to be in trouble here? Then you're going to be in trouble. It's just kind of Murphy's Law of chess commentary. Maybe I should have prevented that. It was possible. Okay, now at least it's an IQP position. Yeah, exactly. This is the famous last words. Yeah. Famous last words. Where is that? What is the origin of famous last words? I don't know. That expression. I think one of the funniest famous last words is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the story with the whale that all of a sudden materializes in midair and then hits the ground. When the whale was saying, "Oh, what is that? I'm going to call it ground. If it is, let's see if it is friendly to me," or something like that. And then it hit the ground, and it wasn't so friendly. Now, anyway, the big drawback here, and I should have thought about this a little bit more before I started the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy story, is that I have a weak spot on c3. It's annoying, to say the least. Queen to f6 is going to be okay for black, I guess. Queen d5, knight c3. No, it's nothing special, really. Okay. I thought he would maybe take with the king. Okay. He's defending this quite well. Yeah, my original intention was to move the rook away now from the c file. I just wonder if that is really any good. It's probably too sophisticated for its own good, to move the rook away. I'm not sure, but I might be still a little bit better. I mean, Not by much, but maybe a little bit. Trying to dislodge the knight and then play e4. He's playing this well. He's defending this well. He's playing good moves. h6 is a good prophylactic move. Wanted to play bishop, the bishop here around to f5, but he's got rook a7 and potentially a5. That's rather annoying. Yeah, rook c2, I got rook a4, that wouldn't help all that much. Not sure if rook a5 was good, maybe. Now my idea is to play bishop e2, which he attended to. He's just refusing to play anything stupid. Just does not give me anything at all. Yeah, I don't know, f4, if that is a good move. I could backfire, but I cannot just sit all the time. I mean, I was just covering it. Okay. Yeah. He's playing very well here. How do we ever get this? Okay. I just wonder. I want to do something. I just don't want to make a draw. Yeah, I guess shows on holidays aren't the best idea. Yeah, as we see, it's really slow. Like in the chat or the overall like state of things, just very slow. And now I'm going to take it because if he takes with the rook, I'm going to just win the pawn. And pawn takes king d2, I'm also nearing. Oh, that doesn't work. The thing is, I'm not looking like I'm in prison. It's not orange. It's absolutely red. My shirt, you know. It just looks orange. It's a bit odd. The webcam is just not giving the right color. I noticed that. I've used this shirt before. And it's complete. It's a really strong red. It's not orange at all. Yeah. It looks a little bit orange. I know, a little bit, but it's a really strong red. Like, let's say the red of a Ferrari or something. I don't just want a comparison. Yeah, it's just a very strong red. Yeah. Thanks for the game, Jonathan Russell. You played extremely well. You just shouldn't go to a3, I guess. Yeah, if you go to d6 or something, you have no problem, I think. All right, so the next game against Keyshawn Putney. Keyshawn Putney. Okay. All right. Ah, yeah, there's a question in the Twitch chat. No, it's not. It's usually on the Wednesday, but yesterday I got stuck in a terrible traffic jam. A 45-minute drive took more than 2 hours, which completely crashed all ideas of a punctual start. This looks very comfortable. Okay, now you can take on d8, or I think taking makes more sense. And now I would definitely like to go to, let's do this, to go to b5, and it's going to be, this is not so bright, I'm taking this. I mean, black's position was a bit tricky anyway, but bishop d6 was a bit far away from the best defense. Okay, now Springer 95, Jumper 95, or Knight 95 is the translation. Carpanat asks in the Twitch chat, can I join the line to play? Yeah, you need to be a premium on Chess24 to join. Then I'm happily accepting the challenge. I'm always giving preference to new opponents. So if you just have joined and gotten a premium, I'm happy to play. And the German show already happened, yeah, and started at 7:30. So we got a closed Catalan opening. Now black has a choice, can take with the c-pawn or the e-pawn. The usual way is this. Yeah, here white has some good choices. This is a uncommon move, but that's a move that I found during my latest opening project, and I think it's a strong one. They usually play rook e1, knight f1 to e3 later, and I think it is exactly right to put the knight onto c3 here in this position. Anyway, let's continue. Not that the existing theory is wrong, it's just that I think this is a better choice. Or at least as good. Yeah. Also, I like knight retreats. It's a bit fancy, but it's a good way to play. Now, yeah, there are a couple of interesting points. I can also play queen to f5 here. Okay, going rook a1 first, as it is usually played. Now let's see what he does. He takes, I will take with the bishop, I guess. The big issue is that always d5 is going to be quite a serious weakness. I was a bit surprised nobody reacted to my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. It's a fairly popular book, and nowadays more than just the book, there are movies and stuff. Isn't Towel Day pretty close? Isn't that in May, Towel Day? Maybe somebody can look that up in Wikipedia or something. Towel Day is the holiday created to honor Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think it's not far away. May 25th. It was already. Okay. So I knew that it was close to my birthday. Yeah? That is something that I had in mind. So it was already last week. Okay. Now, if I play knight d to b5, or yeah, anywhere really, isn't that gone? The pawn, I mean. It looks to be a goner. Yeah, there's too much pressure on the d5 pawn. Sorry for the sound. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I will take with this because ultimately I want a knight on d5 and therefore it's a tough call. Yeah, there are many mods in the chat. Yeah, very absolutely. Doesn't seem likely that some riot is breaking out in the chat room. Now, what is Springer 95 doing here? It's going to be difficult anyway, but not quite sure how he should try to defend it. Wow. E6 looks like a complete disaster. Crownick student wants to know when Keep It Simple D4 is released. I can tell you, May 7th. No, that is already gone. June 7th. So Friday next week. Now, and in this position, black is you're busted, I guess. Yep, black cannot take. Taking on f7 is a bit of a disaster as well. Okay, thanks for the game. Springer 95. Hoin Min Gustafsson. Okay. Yeah, the new Keep It Simple D4 will have video. I expect 25 to 30 hours of video. It's not recorded completely yet. Okay, now white is playing a b3 e3 setup. Very solid, but not so active. Yeah, this is probably not the best way to handle it, but I want to irritate him a little bit. Yeah, we will have at least 25 hours of video. Probably more. For many of the lines, I'm digging rather deep, not because you absolutely need to know every single move, but because I extended many lines a little bit deeper so that you have a better idea what the game will look like a little bit later. So got a little bit more of a middle game overview for many lines. Okay, here Min Gustafsson is playing very solidly, and I don't have any. I mean, there's a little tension. That's what I'm trying to say. Not many imbalances that I can play for. And now maybe I can play with c5. Ugh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, knight takes. I've got c5 though. Maybe I can do something there. But I'm opening up my long diagonal here as well. So with bishop f3, knight a5, he has some ideas. bishop. I can play b6 after bishop f3, but maybe knight a5. Maybe knight a5 was an idea. I guess he wants to play knight e5 or maybe knight d6. Huh. I don't like this position. And it's 3-minute chess. That doesn't make it any easier. Okay, that is a weird move, but it just tries to be concrete. Oh, I forgot about that. I can just do that. Okay. Well, then things are not very exciting. Ugh. I have to then again try to press water out of stone. Okay, he's into a self pin. Nah, I'm not going to make it raw here. Can forget about that. I have a nice disadvantage on the clock. Gives me some winning ideas. He has played g4. That's a little bit... Oops. Yeah, according to Larry Christiansen, yeah, you never resign as long as you have a knight. And at the same time, you can say you never make a draw as long as you have a knight. Yeah, thanks for playing. You played well. It was very drawish till the end. And yeah, I had not much at all, ever. Okay, oh, I didn't actually... I think I misclicked here. I didn't want to take this challenge, but another one. It's not an issue. I could have done that. Clicky is fine, it's premium, but it was a misclick, technically speaking. Okay. That's very solid. I usually take on e4. I forgot to do that. That is not a bad line, bishop e4, but I actually had prepared knight takes e4. Just forgot to do that. Anyway, let's see what Clicky is doing here. Bishop d2 is a move, bishop g5, knight e2. Couple of options. Knight e2 is one of them. So... White usually castles him. I'm trying to prove that giving up the bishop is not a problem, but rather helping me to get active pieces. Now I'm trying to take on c3 using the pin. Yeah, it looks quite good. I'm threatening knight c3 and also to take on e2 and then on c3. It's a little bit worrisome for white. I had a question during the German show. I forgot to ask it actually, but I think we still have quite a good part of the German crowd still around. What I wanted to ask is if anybody of you is going to visit the German visit Magdeburg, yeah, the German championship, because there are so many interesting tournaments. They have the the Open Championship, I mean the German Overall Championship, the Ladies Championship, there's the Amateur Championship and so on. So a huge event. Okay, now I can go. Let's do it like that. Get rid of that bishop first. And now, yeah, probably this one. I want to get rid of the other bishop as well. Yeah, they have all kinds of championships. They have different categories. I'm not up a piece. Could I have won a piece? I didn't see it. It's possible, definitely. It's been a rather long day. You can always count on me not taking a piece. All right. I wondered, yeah, now he's taking. Okay, now let's go a4. Yeah, I guess b5 was reasonable. I don't know if that is helpful, if I take with the pawn. You want passes, but rook a1 quickly coming. Yeah. There's a question by Shaba. If the Norway chess format was tailored for Carlsen home field advantage. I don't think I know the precise format. I know that they've done something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, didn't they somehow reduce increments or no increments, something like that? It's a little bit quicker, I think. And isn't there something that they do with the draws, like that they play rapid or something? I'm just not totally aware. I knew that they changed something, but I don't quite know what exactly they changed. This is what I'm trying to say. If it's a draw, they play an instant Armageddon. Interesting. Yeah, I think this is an interesting thing to do. It might favor Magnus, but honestly, I mean, I'm on the record that I think that we will, in a couple of years, let me start like that, I think we will not see much classical chess anyway. It is something that is basically destined to go away in the long run. And if they start shortening the time control now, it's fine with me. It's a bit tricky, rook e8 here. King f8, rook d7. It's all a little bit annoying. Can actually king f8 can actually take c7. I would like to play g6 here, but at the end of the day, I'll take a4. It's really annoying. I don't know what to do here. Maybe this one. I'm not a huge fan of getting rid of the increment, because I really think that you should take use of the modern clocks. And why? I mean, what I think is not unreasonable. They have changed something. I think for the World Championships that you only have the increment after 40 moves or something like that. That is not bad, not a bad idea. I cannot really discuss those things and still play a reasonable game at the same time. I'm really screwing this up. They only have 29 seconds, is also a problem. Should have gone to B1 maybe. Rook G6. I should at least make it a little bit more difficult for my opponent. He didn't see this one, it seems. Yeah, one on time, but that was kind of tricky. Ooh. Okay, yeah, thanks for the game, Clicky. Okay, now, so who is on Aria 93? Yeah, you can always discuss. In general, I think with the increment, what I do like is that if possible, you should have similar time controls and regulations, no matter if it is a World Championship match or like a regular league game somewhere around. Yeah, and the issue simply is if you have non-increment time controls on any lower level, let's say, you will have those crazy situations where people play on time in totally dead positions or whatever. It will happen. And of course you can say, yes, there are regulations, and there always have been regulations, that you can get the arbiter, you can claim a draw and so on. Yes, that's all true, but if you have ever played a tournament with your typical arbiter, you know that they have no clue about anything. And then they will decide some nonsense. This is not happening on higher levels, because people then usually they have better educated arbiters. That is all good, but it doesn't happen on lower levels. And the way to solve this is to get rid of the completely crazy time plays, and the solution for that is increment. As Yasser Sarawan once said, and I think it was a very good way to put it. Like, the chess clock was invented to prevent games from lasting 2 days, not to decide as many games as possible. Yeah, and I think this is a very reasonable way of seeing this. Now, as mentioned, that is a solution. I think on higher levels you could actually get away with non-increment, because you have better arbiters, yeah. But if you want to have things on somewhat similar ground, yeah, it makes sense to have the increment because it simply prevents those crazy things from happening. And for me, this is something that that makes a lot of sense. So I don't really see why they should get rid of it. I think it is something that that actually worked quite well. And if you want more decisive games, there's a simple solution: stop the extremely long time controls. I mean, in classical time controls, the draw rate is so high because they simply don't make that many mistakes anymore, and that is an issue if you want more decisive games. I should have played a4. I'm a moron here, really. Just a4 first. That is terrible. I mean, knight b1 is a terrible move to make, but it's really oh, what a terrible position. Ouch. And it's a bit of a gamble. He can still take on d4. I'm threatening e5, it seems, but he can still take them. The only solution to reduce the number of draws, if you think it needs a solution, so you only need a solution if you think there's a problem, is to shorten the time control. Then you've got more decisive results. That's a very simple thing to do. If you want to see games with as few mistakes as possible, you just have to play the classical controls, and they will simply play a huge number of draws. But it is close to. It is not perfect, but it's getting closer to very, very, very good chess, of course. Yeah, my position here is completely lost. I played a really bad game there. And he played it okay, I think. I'm a bit surprised that he allowed that. I can still d2, I can still take. I mean, it is better for black, but I thought it was even worse. I'm totally lost time-wise. That's a big problem. Nah, I shouldn't have done that. I can take with the rook. I forgot that. And trade off everything, which is a huge issue. Yeah, the time is an issue. Going to promote this. Yeah, it was very well played, Ariem. Just have to speed up at some point. I really misplayed that. I really misplayed that quite badly. Okay, now Mozzarella is the next opponent. And it's a new opponent. Let's refresh. Okay, got black here. Yeah, different time controls is something that you can always discuss. Many people discuss it with lots of passion. Yeah, they're just different points, I think, that come into play there. and everybody has their opinion, and everybody is entitled to. Yeah, I mean, there are really many things that you can discuss. I mean, one thing that is rarely mentioned, but it is definitely true, is that in effect, the time that they are playing nowadays, if you look at the currently used time controls, you usually have games on the higher level, of the highest level. You have games that last 6 to 7 hours, and this has not changed all that much in the last 30 years, let's say. We have increment and so on, and we got rid of adjournments and so on. Yeah, but it's essentially the same time frame. Now, we are not playing the same game anymore. That is what people sometimes don't realize, because nowadays the opening theory has changed so much that if they want to do that, they sometimes spend more time in the first couple of moves. But if they want, they can blitz out 15 to sometimes 20 moves, because it's all prep. And in some lines, it's even deeper. So in effect, they have much more time nowadays than they even had in the 1980s. Compared to what they do nowadays in terms of preparation, the preparation of the top players of the 1980s or 70s was just a complete joke. Really, sorry, it's a real difference. Even in the top matches like Karpov, Kasparov and so on, if you look at some of those games, there was pretty awful preparation at times. I mean, sorry, it's just what it is. So in effect, they have more time nowadays. So if you, for example, shorten the games by an hour or two, in effect, there's not such a big difference in all. But again, all kinds of opinions. Everybody's entitled to their point of view. The opening theory has exploded due to databases and computer analysis. You can analyze much deeper nowadays, and they also use it. I mean, they use it. I mean, there have been clear, like in history, if you look at, let's say, Karpov's opening prep. I've heard interviews with people, let's say, Onishuk. Yeah, he had an interview once when he was asked, okay, you were part of Karpov's preparation team for a match. What did you do in the prep? And he said, well, Karpov had no interest in opening prep. We blitzed all day. Yeah, and this is unthinkable nowadays. I mean, they definitely they also have some fun in their preparation. And I'm not going to tell you otherwise. That's certainly happening, but it's just a totally different scenario nowadays. If you just sit around there and blitz all day, you're just not going. Your prep is just not enough. You just lose a match, and they do just much more nowadays, and are much deeper in their preparation. Okay, now, Mozzarella here wants to play knight to e2, I think. Yeah, that's certainly possible. Okay, that I have to prevent. In effect, they have much more time, really. That is what it is. So shortening it a little bit is not really a huge effect, in my opinion. And that is true, yeah, probably, that Karpov's memory was not the absolute best, all in comparison, yeah, please, yeah. That's possible. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, Kramnik, that Bereyev was on the Perpetual Chess podcast. It's an episode that I still have to listen to. I'm very curious about that. I mean, I never heard him in an interview, but I know that he's quite candid in his opinion, so it's probably quite interesting. And he has a lot of experience over the years being a second and so on, so he probably has many interesting things to tell. Mozzarella, what are you doing there? I'm going to try to play e5. Not on my watch. To try to get that to f6. Yeah, I don't know. Time control is one of those pet peeves of mine. People usually disagree when I say I would shorten it drastically, but the same people, then sometimes I watch them play, and then you have situations like they play 1e4, the opponent plays 1e5, and then they think 3 minutes until they play knight f3. And then afterwards I ask them, okay, what on earth were you doing? I mean, what is the point? You need the time to figure out if knight f3 is a good move or what. They spend time on those kind of situations very often, completely useless time spent on moves that they're going to play anyway. And I don't know why. It just makes no sense. I think they're just used to having the time and then squander it away, and then they blunder the game in some time trouble. Yeah, that's the usual scenario. And then they say, I need the time. And then for what? For what exactly? Sitting around or getting coffee or whatever. And oftentimes it is just like that. Yeah. Anyway, let's bring this game to an end. I think at the end of the day, my pawn will do a good job. The good old A-pawn won the game against Mozzarella. I could have taken e4 with the knight. Nee, that's possible. Okay, Gladiator. Maximilian d'Allemont. That is a name that I've for sure mispronounced. That would be funny, right? We have misfortune oftentimes around. Somebody should make a username mispronouncement. That would be nice. Yeah, I know it is French. I don't speak any French, unfortunately, so my pronunciation is going to be more or less terrible. Yeah, I mean, one thing that definitely is a point with the time controls is if we think about broadcasting. Yeah, think about broadcasting. I mean, I don't know, maybe there are people around, but I really don't think anybody is really... Does anybody really prefer, that's what I'm trying to say, to watch classical games to rapid games? I mean, really? I mean, if you give me the choice, I'm taking rapid always. It's just a lot better to watch. You've got more games, you've got more action. Yeah, people like to watch classical. Maybe, I mean, there's a percentage, but it would be... I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm not watching classical at all. I just think it's ungodly long. I mean, really 5 hours, 6 hours. It's really long. And I often get this argument, they are much deeper and so on. I mean, honestly, most games, they have 15 to 20 moves of theory. That is what interests me oftentimes. And then they have a draw, just like out of the opening, because they compared their notes. Or you get, like with Magnus, you get some ending that they play that takes forever to watch in classical, and then you fall asleep. I don't know. It's of course, I mean, again, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Okay. I very often fall asleep watching chess, very often, actually, because I sometimes, when I'm basically done with the day, and I sometimes check what's on YouTube. I don't watch TV at all. I just do YouTube. And then I sometimes see blitz matches, rapid online, or some, let's say, when there was something happening on the day, I watch it in the evening, and then I often fall asleep. It's kind of bizarre if you fall asleep and then you wake up again and you have Peter Swidler commentating on the game and like, what's going on? It's kind of weird. Yeah, so in this game, I've won a pawn, won the g-pawn, and quite happy. The knight on e4 is very strong. And some move like f3, I always have knight g3. The knight is not doing that much, but it's annoying. I think one thing that is also a huge point if you look at live broadcasts to for tournaments. I think in classical it is very important to have many games. I honestly think it's extremely boring to just look at one game. I mean, such a game really has to be very interesting to keep the attention span for 5 or 6 hours. I mean, honestly, if you take the World Championship match, that wasn't all that exciting oftentimes. I didn't really have time during the match to watch all that much, but I think it's a different story if you have much more games. If you have, let's say, Tata Steel, yeah, that's in Vike, yeah, there are many interesting games, and you don't have this time like to wait 20 minutes until they make a move. Yeah, of course you can look at something for 20 minutes, but it's difficult sometimes if just nothing's going on, or not a lot. And if you have many games, it's a different story. Yeah, this is I mean, I'm going to be on site for the German Youth Championships starting in about a week, and we have I mean, hundreds of games basically at the same time, and we have access to all of them, so we can pick all the time when something interesting happens, and then you can focus on that. That is completely okay. But sometimes if you just have 3 or 4 games and nothing really happens, I mean, it's just not very interesting. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's also a difference what you render as, what you think is interesting, or what what I think is interesting. There could be a difference, of course. Okay, now the commutator. H6, that's a mysterious move. I'm taking this pawn. That's a good pawn to get. Yeah, Basque chess. Yeah, I'm probably mispronouncing it. You play 2 games at the same time with mixed colors. Yeah, that's fun, I think. The fun format. I've never tried it. I mean, for real, just. Not in a tournament. There will be many events during the German Youth Championships. Not sure yet what exactly, but there will be a huge variety. I know that Niklas Huschenbeet is doing some things, it's like a simule and many things. Thanks to the commutator. He resigned really early on, but I can take d7 now and win. A real bunch of pawns. Okay, let's play Power of Knights. Power of Knights. Yeah. There was a question. Atomic Chess there asks, do you to learn chess you need coaching? Well, I mean, I offer chess lessons. I mean, currently not so much because I write a lot, but generally speaking, I do offer lessons, and I think lessons are useful. But it is, especially nowadays with this huge amount of information available, it is certainly possible to do many things on your own. There's lots of video, lots of books around and other media. So it is not a necessity to have a qualified and maybe expensive coach. I think it helps, in particular if it's a competent person, of course, because you can definitely get a better picture of what to do. You get ideally qualified feedback on what you're doing, but it's not a necessity. Absolutely not. I mean, I never had any formal coaching, for example, and I mean, okay, I think there's probably some kind of limit of what you can achieve. But at least I think to a very good master level playing strength you can definitely get without a coach, without a teacher. I usually say teacher and not coach. I think that is what they usually say, the native speakers. Okay, I'm threatening knight c6, bishop takes c5. That's something that black has to attend to. And he did. I don't think he can take e4. Yeah, every show is a little bit different. I tend to answer many questions in my show. When I do, of course, do commentary, but I also try to answer questions, and usually there are quite a bit of questions. Yeah, here I think he shouldn't be able to take, because knight takes, I can at the end pin him. Okay, now, how do we play here? F4 probably doesn't work. I'm just going to cover it for good, so that I'm sure he can never take it. Yeah, there's one point here in the Twitch chat that persistence is very important with chess improvement. That is definitely true. Improvement in chess is usually not coming all that quickly. You need to be patient, and often a huge effort that you invest is not going to translate into points quickly. It will often take quite a bit of time until you see any effect of what you do, what you learn. And even a huge time investment can be completely, it looks like, for naught, and then all of a sudden you see some improvement. I think it can happen that you get to a point where you just don't improve anymore. It can happen. I mean, it's a matter of focus, what is important to you at a certain time, and then you just don't really, you hit some kind of wall that is not uncommon at all. But in many cases you can still improve, even if you are already on a reasonably high level. So I took this pawn because the knight is hanging. He can take my knight, but it should just be a good trade for me. Yeah, even bishop takes is possible. It should be quite good. Yeah, now his knight is hanging, and there is no good way really for him to save it. Knight takes g3 maybe, but maybe that was possible, but it's wouldn't be all that great either. Now I'm ready to push g5 and completely put him into a passive position. That is a knight. A free knight. And the power of knights gave me a knight. Yeah, thanks for the game. Power of knights. Now, awake. I'm awake, but it's been a long day. Okay. Let's go d4 again. I'm still undefeated today. But it was very lucky. Yeah, that's not a good move. I shouldn't screw it up. Harika 1. Are they already starting today? Is that, I mean, is that Harika, is that candidates, or I'm not totally positive. Did they started already with the candidates tournament, or? That looks kind of awful for black. Let's see. What is the best here? Bishop f4. He will probably play d6. Not with a. Not going to be happy about it, but he's got to do it. Yeah, the candidates tournament. Yeah. But it's yeah, Hu Yifan is not playing, but that was kind of clear, right? She retired from women events some time ago. So it was kind of clear that she wouldn't participate, and she's at Oxford. Is she at Oxford? I think Oxford, right? One of the elite universities in the UK. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I haven't looked super closely, but I think the women candidates tournament just is probably going to be wide open. There are many participants are very close to one another in terms of rating and in terms of real playing strength. Yeah, I don't know. It can take. Let's do it. Yeah, so I'm a pawn up. I've got control over d4, and the knight on b5 is extremely annoying. Extremely annoying. It's fun, but c5 is just a mistake on move 5, and it's a widely played move. Maybe I could have gone a5. That would have been interesting. But okay, it's not much to complain here. It's just a huge advantage. Yeah, I wonder if I should play c4. Probably not. Knight f3, I don't know. With hindsight, that wasn't maybe the best decision. Okay, come on. Let's correct that. It really didn't make any sense. I should play c4 at some time. Oh, there are many strong brothers also. I was talking about the Musichuk sisters. Like there's Shigalko, probably again wrong pronunciation, from they're from Belarus, maybe. I think they're from Belarus. Hope I'm not wrong there. And they have been on 2,600 something. And there are some other cases. Okay, yeah, the knight is annoying there. He takes with the pawn. I was thinking he would definitely take with the queen. Odd. I think both the Garko brothers were over 2,600 at some point. Yeah, the Musichuk sisters are playing in the first round, but they always make a draw. As far as I know, they always make a quick draw. The candidates tournament is not knockout now for the women's. I think it's just exactly the same format as the overall, like a round robin, as they had in Berlin last year. All right, thanks for the game, Awake. Yeah, just for reference, this is a mistake. After d takes c5, white is definitely a lot better. Okay, now we have. That's a non-premium. Ilya Joker. Let's play Ilya Joker. He's got a high rating. Yeah, I think it's a double round robin. Yeah, c5 is a mistake. You can look it up. It's precisely wrong in this position. It's wrong because of d takes c5. It has a bad score. You can analyze it. It's yeah, I mean, in chess you can make draws. Yeah, as mentioned, Williams' sisters can't do that in tennis. That would be fun. Yeah, if they somehow would agree. Yeah, we play an eternal match. Yeah, do it. it's possible. Yeah? If they don't have a tiebreak in the final set, you can basically play forever. Okay, he's going to play the critical line here with taking and c5. Otherwise, the capture wouldn't make all that much sense. I've forgotten my analysis here, really. How do I play that again? I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember anything at all. That's Peter Gabriel, I think. Anyway, I'm trying to ask his queen some questions. It can still go to a6, but not happily. At least it seems that he also is not playing like playing known moves to him. He has to think a little bit now as well. All right, now after knight c4, it goes back to d8. Oops, I'm still going to play it. Or is he going to a6? I mean, that is a possibility. No, it's going there. Okay, rook d1 looks very obvious. I'm not sure how I'm continuing here. I'm expecting him to play the queen maybe to e8, and I'm not certain how to continue then. It's difficult for black to untangle, but I'm not quite sure how I'm making any headway. Yeah, here I can just grab material. Huh? Why is that bad? I don't know. I take it. Maybe he has got something direct now that is irritating when I don't see it. Yeah, I don't really see what he's doing. Which is good for white. I got 2 minor pieces for a rook, and he's stuck with a passive position as the thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Halloween gambit, I have to admit. I mean, in general, like unsound gambits is kind of a pet peeve of mine. I don't quite think it's worth the time. You're against better players, it wouldn't work, and against weaker players, just play normal chess and win. So I don't quite see the point. But just objectively speaking, there are a couple of lines that are good for black, and this is what I'm really thinking is the most problem. There's not like one complicated line that's going to be a problem. There's a multitude. I think black can win by almost win. Like, winning is strong, but be much better if they know how to keep the material. There are lines like that, for example, given by Nikos Tirlis in his book. And there are ways to return the piece and get a strong attack. This is what I did in my repertoire for black, the so-called Caruana repertoire. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why waste time? I'd rather learn some real chess. But okay, it's what you can spend your time however you want. I just think it's really not worth the time to be a piece down all the time. So now I've given back a pawn, but the resulting position looks dreadful for black. The reversed Halloween gambit is actually okay. I know it's very odd, but this is the case. After 4g3, like in the 4 knights, 4g3, you can take on e4. Yeah, that seems to work. That has even been played by Carlsen in a game when he was a kid. And yeah, Magnus played all kinds of funny things when he was a kid. Still sometimes does, but okay, this is not the quickest way to do it, but it's good enough. Oh, that's a rook. I mean, you can definitely play some funky gambits once in a while. Thanks for the game, Ilya Joker. Yeah, there are always some interesting, not always, but many gambits that look a little bit odd and are probably not entirely correct. They have some interesting points. I recently saw some stuff about what is it called, the wing gambit, yeah, in the Sicilian, the 2 b4 line, and this is really I mean, nobody knows that with black, and there are some really funny looking lines that I mean, the wing gambit, for example, looks like a million times better than the Halloween gambit. I mean, quite obviously so. I mean, like it's a theoretical debate. It's not a practical debate. The Halloween gambit is something that if you tell me my opponent is playing the Halloween gambit tomorrow and it's for all the marbles, I will just refute it. I will look at this and refute it. It's just what it is. You can do that probably, and I don't know if it's so easily possible with some other lines. But I mean, you can play all kinds of stuff, especially in blitz chess. Yeah, to have some fun. Why not? I mean, it's a game. That is also not the best possible way to play, honestly, what I'm doing here. But That's strategically really dubious, but we'll see what happens. It's not like it's so easily refutable. My knight on d8 is really bad. Originally, with knight d8, I planned to play the f-pawn and knight to f7, but didn't work out. Yeah, this is not good here. The only thing that I have is I'm reasonably quick on the A file. I can still fight for that. Whoa, wow, I really misplayed that. Well, it's just a bit worse for me. But normally I'm not too bad in those kind of positions. Yeah, it's very difficult for white to do anything because the bishop is so much of a non-piece in a way. White only has the c5 pawn break, and that's not happening anytime soon. And often long term you can actually drum up something with the knight and the queen. Good practical point is I'm up like 2 minutes on the clock, which is a bit odd. Yeah, I've got everything on dark square, so the bishop is kind of pointing into thin air. I've had structures like that in Blitz quite often from the BOGO and some other closed openings. An idea that I'm playing for is f5, knight f7. Now he moves the queen away. This is an interesting moment because sometimes you can play c5, but here that is not a good idea. So I'm going to go with f5. And now maybe the knight is getting some kind of activity after all. Knight h6, g8, f6 could be an idea, but also knight f5. It looks best though to he's taking it, okay. That is different now. All right. He's probably trying to play f4 here. Okay. Yeah, that is not so convenient, really. I need to get it to f6, there's just no way around it. If white takes on e5, d takes c5, it's going to be sharp. It's going to be sharp. It's got no queen e5 I can take. Okay. I wanted to isolate the d5 pawn. I don't know. Bishop c4 maybe? Bishop c4 and queen e5 stuff. Okay. He probably wants to play bishop e6, but with this move I can attack f4 and d5. I think this is going to be tricky. Queen g3 maybe. I can definitely take on g4. Queen takes, queen g6. Yeah, that should win. King and pawn ending with a pawn up. Oh, yeah, I can still move the c-pawn. What Kinderman DVD are you referring to? Did he produce something new on the Dutch? Interesting. Anyway, or something relatively new. It's really late. I didn't really look at the clock. Maybe we can get in a bullet game. One bullet game. That would be fun. If you challenge me to bullet game, I'm going to take the first challenge. All right. Tobish is playing. All right, maybe is playing. Yeah, this is not super comfortable for me. Actually, I know this stuff from the white side, but okay, in bullet you sometimes get into lines that you don't really love. Oh, he's knowing it. He knows exactly what I analyzed for my English video series on Chess24. That is bad, yeah. If he knows this. I need to change the course of the game. Yeah, rook b3 looks good. Ah, shoot. Got 19 seconds. Yeah, that is not great. Ah, and he plays the nonsensical b5 just when I make a pre-move. What the beep? Ha! Whew, I won on time. Okay. Yeah, he played my English repertoire recommendation. You can look that up. I completely stumbled into my own stuff. Funny. Okay. Okay, now that is really the end of the show. I think it is, right? We started at 9. Am I correct? I think I am correct. That was a case of time flying. Yeah, thanks for the game, Tobish. Yeah, and I'll be back next week. Not sure yet about the day and time. We will have the Norway chess broadcasted on Chess24, and they usually start at 5 Central European time. So yeah, no time for my usual slot. so we have to do something else, but we don't yet know when I'm going to be live. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.